We had a pretty good practice out there today. Had a lot of energy. Both sides of the ball. A lot of competition, so that's good. Said before, between the first week and the second week is when you usually have the most improvement as a football team. And we certainly have a lot of areas that we can improve that. So guys are kind of sticking their nose to the ground and going at it as hard as they can. And that's what they got to do, and that's what everybody's got to do. So without taking any questions.
Patrick and Steve.
Jeremy, everything on David Tooley and his chances of playing Saturday?
He was out there today, done a little bit today, so he's close. There might be a chance that he could give us some snaps, very similar to Trey last week. Trey played 30 snaps, so Daniel will definitely be close.
Steve, and then David.
We talked to Juwan Jennings yesterday. He kind of talked about how he wasn't going to allow, he wanted to make sure it's more juice on the sidelines, wanted to make sure everybody kind of put in last week in the fence. I'm just wondering what other players have kind of stepped up in terms of leadership in that regard, and what have you seen from Juwan on the practice field or in the film room this week?
Juwan has always been a really good practicer. The guy just loves ball. He really loves ball, loves to practice, loves to compete. Usually have to slow him down at practice. Just because, especially when he was injured a little bit, he kind of had a little bit of a measuring stick on yards there from the GPS, and he was always way over it every day. So, I've said it before, wish you could coach a team full of guys like Juwan. I've had the opportunity to coach a lot of really good players in my career, and guys that try to do it the right way, and Juwan's one of those guys.
David and Jesse.
Jeremy, you touched on it a little bit, but how would you describe the team as a whole response coming off of Saturday?
Everybody's went back to work. It wasn't like we went into last week and didn't have good practice. We've had good practices all camp. Talking about effort, trying to do it the right way. We lack some experience at certain positions. Turn the ball over. I can go through the whole thing all over again. Okay, so it's not like we didn't have good practices leading up. We didn't have good execution on game day, and that's where it counts. It's those 60 minutes. So that's what we got to do. We got to take it from the practice field to the game field.
Jesse and Austin.
Jeremy, what had Karat Garland done, or what did he do to put himself in position, returning to the team and being in practice a week or so ago to play the amount of snaps he did on Saturday?
Here's a guy that played last year in 4 games, and there was a point we decided to redshirt him along with several other guys, just because we felt like it was best for the program in the next 3 to 5 years, right? So we felt like that he played really well last year for a young guy, continued to improve. Unfortunately, he didn't get to go through spring practice with a little bit of a medical issue, and then coming back from that, there's a lot to that. I said when he put his name in the portal that the door was not closed yet. Was in constant communication with him and his family, and the guy is one of our better players. Has lots of potential, but again, he's a guy that missed a lot of spring, missed all of spring and a lot of fall camp, but has a lot of upside and works really hard and is going to continue to improve and get better.
Austin, Grant, and Rob.
Coach, what have you saw out of some of those young freshmen or some of those guys that don't have as much experience as far as taking what they learned on Saturday and then applying it back to the practice field? Have you seen a kind of renewed purpose with some of those guys like a Darnell Wright or some of those young kids that got to play their first action Saturday?
Yeah, there's several guys that played for the first time. A lot of those guys, played better than their peers. So we have War Daddy boards, and there were several of those guys that were on the War Daddy board. So they played pretty well. With freshman guys, it's interesting. When you're in high school, okay, you usually are better your senior year than you are when you're a freshman. When you get to college, you're going to be better your senior year than you are with a freshman. All right. Some guys are ready to play faster. Really doesn't have a lot to do with ability, in my opinion. Maybe it's the type of program that you come from that prepares you for the daily grind of what's going to happen in college. Maybe you went to a school that the academics were really tough, so it prepares you for college and you have an advantage there. But I've seen lots of guys that played early on because they were ready. And then some of their peers, okay, that played the same position by the time they were seniors might not have played any as a freshman, and they were the best player, you know. And it comes with, you know, continue coaching them up and developing them as football players. So these guys are working hard. I mean, we got two young outside linebackers in Quavaris Crouch and Roman Harrison. They at practice make plays all over the field, you know. But it's like I've told those guys, they're a little bit away, okay, from being ready completely. They're close, and it's closer this week, and hopefully we get a chance to play those guys more this week.
Brandon Rob.
Theo, Jackson mentioned yesterday kind of a players-only meeting on Sunday. How do you view that as a head coach? You think that helps? Do you like to see that on players after struggling on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, it's their team, you know. It's if you're vested in something and you have passion about something, you confront people. You know, that's what leaders do. So that's good to see.
Robin West.
Coach, you feel like you're getting closer to finding 5 or 6 guys up front on the offensive line, or do you think you'll play as good as you did last weekend?
Well, we've only practiced 2 days since the last time I got this question. So, but we'll keep working until we figure out who the 5 best guys are. We're gonna play as many guys as it takes for us to have success. If that's 5, if it's 10, if it's 8, okay, that's what we're gonna do.
West and Patrick and Jesse.
Jimmy, I know you talked about your defense wanting your defense to force more turnovers. When you went back and watched film in that Georgia State game, were there some opportunities left out there to create more turnovers, or did some missed assignments just prevent some of that stuff from happening?
Well, the first way to create turnovers is to hit people, okay? There's nothing like a good old-fashioned hit, right? Okay, and we've all seen it, okay? We probably saw some Saturday over here. You might have watched it on TV or whatever. We need more old-fashioned hits, okay? Legal, good, clean football, where you knock the ball off somebody. All right, and then when you get a bunch of people to the ball, you knock the ball off, you rip the ball off. It's awareness, and then when the ball's in the air, whether it's getting your hands up and tipping some balls or finishing in the back end, when you affect the quarterback, it seems like there's more turnovers there. So we've got to be more aggressive, play aggressive, tackle aggressive in our approach.
Last few, Patrick, Jesse, Ryan.
Jeremy, I think you said a couple weeks ago that Jeremy would play wide receiver again down the road. It seems like he was there this week. Kind of what went into that move, and also Aaron Beasley looks like he was a running back. Is that just sort of insurance? And kind of expound on why those guys are on offense this week?
Well, we got 3 running backs, and Tim's got a turned ankle, so now we got 2. You know, Fred Ord and Chip Ulmer are giving us some looks back there and do a nice job. You know, there's a couple of positions we got. We're thin. So when we took Jeremy and moved him to inside linebacker, you know, made us thin at that spot, so we lost a guy. So Aaron Beasley's a guy that, you know, he's a really good football player. That's why we want him here. He's a team guy. He wants to contribute to the team. So, you know, he called me and said, hey, can I move the running back? So there might be some other guys go there.
What about Beans too?
But you know, Jared, you know, because we felt like that Balin wouldn't be able to play early on, so we wanted to give him a look just to see. We're thin at that position, but you know, if we move a few guys around, maybe a wide receiver, it opens some spots there. So we moved him back. He went through the whole summer there, so that he's pretty familiar with it.
Jesse and Ryan.
Jeremy, you talked about the guys making the biggest jump from week 1 to week 2. What do you want to see from your junior quarterback in that respect? What's the biggest thing you hope to see from him on Saturday that maybe you didn't see or didn't kind of meet your expectations in week 1?
Well, it's every week. You just want to be efficient. You know, the biggest mark of a quarterback, right? Is taking his team, and whether you start on the 25, the 50, the 5, wherever, right? And where does that possession end up? Okay, that's where you get measured by. Sometimes it's by handing the ball off 10 times in a possession, sometimes it's by throwing it 10 times. So whatever it is, just being efficient, getting the offense to play at their best.
Ryan, and final question, Aaron.
Jeremy over here. Ryan Calvert, has he been sort of banged up lately? Just sort of where is he in the offensive line? And sort
You
of
know, he
competition?
missed some days last week early on at the beginning, so he's back in there now, and we'll see how he practices this week.
Eric, final question.
Jeremy, Trey Smith was on the pitch count on Saturday. Could we expect to see him play any more snaps this week? How's he practice this week, and how's he kind of going along with this condition?
Well, Trey will always be week by week and see where he's at, and how the other guys play, right? So it'll be a game time decision on what we do there.
Thanks, Coach.